So my focus has been on using ideas around intentional living communities, of sharing resources and generating projects together and all of that kind of stuff. You mentioned before, why have 10 tractors when you could have one? Well, I've been feeling that throughout my life. I used to work in entertainment and as a costume designer, and always had massive various spaces for work and could only ever use one of them at a time. So I just felt the waste of resources was horrendous. And as a sole trader, just that constant need to try and upskill, maintain, insure, store, like all of the various tools and resources, it was just exhausting, and it made it actually really quite impossible to move forwards in business. So I would say that I've had 25 years as an entrepreneur of learning what not to do. And which has also then pushed the focus into just that sense of, really learning how to do more with less, and all of the resources that I wanted and needed in my own arena were in bounty around me, but there was always just the boundary or the barrier of being able to access it with finances. And so the idea for me is on being able to, instead of bringing in financial investors to then pay for all of the things, to actually directly bring all of the things in as investors themselves. So that's collaborators and people that have the land and that have the tools and the raw materials and the social networks, all of the different things that we need in a business to basically turn that pyramid-shaped top-down authoritative model into a circle so that we can all come in. And I see quite a lot of benefits in that. And one is that we can actually just get the stuff done. We can get the projects made if we're not sitting around waiting for months or years to either get investors or to work the part-time jobs that we don't want to do to try and fund it. The other is that it creates empowerment for everybody, because if everyone's coming in as an investor in a circle, then they end up getting a form of royalty in perpetuity as long as that project is alive. So although in the short term it might take a bit longer for them to get paid out, in the long term they can actually get paid out a lot more. And the other thing that I see with that is that if everybody's personal receivership from that is based on a cut of the pie, basically, everybody's going to be inspired to do a better job. Because the more they do, the more they receive. It's not just, I'll just do this job and then leave. So I feel that even from a qualitative perspective, that it would actually be really beneficial. So that's what's kind of brought me into this space of wanting to generate a business community. So most of it is because I've never actually been able to incredibly succeed in financially as far as business and finance goes. So on the polar opposite of that, I'd love to hear what your background in business and finance is, and how you've actually managed to do well in it.